What's up, everybody? Today's video is going to be yet another one for upcoming artists. Today we're going to be talking about Corey Wise and Reflect. So we're going to start with Reflect, and if you don't know about him, he's signed to Ishan Burgundy's Infantry label, and not too long ago he dropped an album called The Translation. And one of the biggest things that I want to point out about Reflect is that he strikes me as very traditional. I feel like you can really see it in the way he raps, the beats he uses, or even how he tries to get his messages across within a song. And of course, depending on how you enjoy your hip hop, this could be a bad thing. Me personally, I think it really helps. It helps with his style because he's very intent on getting very strong messages across in his music. You know, I feel like if there were a lot of auto-tune or distortion, maybe excessive bass, just all that sort of stuff, it might take away from the seriousness of what he's trying to say. His music kind of puts you on edge, or it moves you towards this sense of sobriety, I feel like. And something that's pretty cool about him is that to further exaggerate this effect, he uses live instrumentation in his music. Not completely, but it's honestly pretty cool because it takes away from making his music seem a little too intense or too grim, too dark, maybe too harsh, because his voice and the way he comes on a song is already a little intense. So when you counteract that with live instrumentation, instead his songs feel a little refreshing. It comes across as very passionate and lively. I would say his music, because of the live instrumentation, it feels more authentically real, kind of, and it's empowering, more importantly, in a very realistic way. Now, personally, where I start to see some really great expertise is how he offsets that live instrumentation with some very familiar hip-hop elements, like that really strong bass. So in the end, we get this style that doesn't feel overbearing or accusational, but it's still very powerful and confident. If I had to give it a bit of a symbolic summary, I would say that his style feels like the combination or the clashing of his passionate youth with the wisdom of a tough life. And you might find the straightforwardness of his style to be a bit plain, but I would really recommend to just kind of listen to how he constructs his songs. It's really super thorough, and it just has this really great, very rejuvenating feel when you listen to his songs as a whole. So all things considered, this was really my first time hearing Reflect. Very impressed with what I've heard. I think one of his greatest aspects is how strongly he sticks to his unique style, and I'm really looking forward to any future projects from him. So if you're a fan of the older style of hip hop, where the beat isn't it's not so much it doesn't feel as much to the center of the song, less auto-tune, just all that stuff, if you're a fan of that, then I think you'll probably really like Reflect. Now, the other artist we have for today is Corey Wise. The biggest thing I want to point out about Corey Wise is that he has a very particular sound. You know, with Corey, his music doesn't feel experimental. It feels very tried and true. And I would say this goes despite the fact that no one I can think of right now really sounds like Corey. Corey Wise's music always strikes me as well calculated and planned out. And the cool thing about Corey is that when you really think about it, that is his that's his self-expression as an artist. The result is that his music sounds very simple. He tells you almost exactly what he was feeling or doing at any given moment in his life. For me, I say he's underrated in this aspect because there's not a lot of artists who are not only as forthcoming as Corey, but they also really dedicate their artistry to crafting a sound that really complements that kind of approach. And to further elaborate on that, the thing with Corey is that he doesn't really use any complicated rhyming patterns or or literary techniques in his writing. When you listen to his rapping, there's kind of a purity to it. Of all the artists and rappers I've enjoyed listening to, I would have to say that Corey has consistently been one of the easiest rappers to listen to. Like, at any given time, I don't need to be in a certain mood or zone to want to listen to his music, and after I listen to it and soak up what he's saying or what he's putting out from his heart, I don't find myself in any kind of dark mood or dark place. It's the atmosphere of his music. If I had to describe the atmosphere, I would say that it's very clean. It's just very clean and wholesome. And again, I say he's underrated because I really think so many people would be blessed or would benefit emotionally and mentally from having something like Corey's music to listen to. Now, concerning this EP in particular, I want to say that it's very true to Corey's unique style, which I would say is very heavy bass combined with super tight kicks, and usually a subtle or quiet usage of ethereal ambience, kind of evoking the image of outer space. But also, what I noticed about this EP is that it really feels like Corey, he's kind of been increasing his stylishness or his flair. You know, this, compared to the past two EPs, this one almost feels a little flamboyant. And I'm comparing this to his past two EPs, which had more of what I would describe as the effortless or cool kind of effect. This EP definitely stands out as more vibrant or vivid. There was a certain grooviness to the songs and his flows that I was really picking up on in this EP that definitely wasn't there before. I think it really helps his music from coming across as maybe a little too flat or too predictable. Overall, I wouldn't say that this EP was just a little bit better than his past ones. I would say that this is actually a clear step above the rest. It really feels like he's hit a great groove, a great space with his artistry with this one. And while I did enjoy his past ones very much, this EP is actually one of my favorite projects from this entire year so far. I really hope to see him continually becoming more stylistic in his very pure and simple way. As far as recommendations go, if you're looking for a biblical minded rapper, I would recommend Corey. If you're looking for an artist who just brings really great lighthearted vibes to their music, I would recommend Corey. And also, if you're looking for an artist with somewhat of a eccentric or slightly unusual sound, I would again recommend Corey. And with those two artists out of the way, that's gonna be all I have for this video. I know I usually do 3 or 4 artists, but with Corey and Reflect, they really impressed me with their vibes and their style, so I really wanted to give them a lot of focus. But let me know if you guys are gonna go listen to their projects, or if you've already heard, and if you liked it or not, all that stuff. Thank you for watching though, as always, and until next time, peace out.